Hey, good evening. It's Tuesday evening, August 17th. Great to be with you. I couldn't do the video this morning because I was traveling. I left all the storms and the tornado watches and warnings and wind and fog of North Carolina and upstate South Carolina this morning, and was blessed again to be back here for a few days on the St. Johns River. And this beautiful calmness that you see behind me is just both this morning and this evening were amazing demonstrations of the power of God. And what I want to talk about tonight is the relationship, and talk about tonight and also talk about tomorrow morning, is the relationship between control and anxiety. Control and anxiety. See, those things fit tightly together. They mesh for us in either good ways or bad ways. Tonight, I want to talk about the things that we can't control and how that produces anxiety in us when we try and control what we cannot control. Jesus sort of highlights for this very clearly in Matthew's Gospel on the Sermon on the Mount, where he says, look, if you can't add one single hour to your life, and this is a very little thing, a small thing. Wow, adding an hour to your life is a small thing? Well, Jesus says, if you can't even do this very little thing, why do you worry about any of the rest of it? And that's a template for us to realize there are things that God controls that I cannot. Example is the weather. Example are the things that happen to us, the sickness, other issues that are going on. Doesn't mean we shouldn't be wise, but we can't control the things in the world. We can't control the world events. We can't control COVID. We think we can, but guess what? We're not. The situation in Afghanistan, our country has been trying to control Afghanistan for 20 years. How's that working out for us? We need to be able to rely on the control of God for all of these things. So when I worry about tomorrow, which Jesus says I clearly cannot control, and I try and do everything to make tomorrow come out right the way I want it to come out, that's going to produce anxiety. Because I can't control it. Trying to control things that you can't control will produce anxiety. One example would be with your children. Ultimately, them coming to Christ, knowing Christ, and being safe is up to God's control. I can do everything I can to be responsible, but I can't control them any more than I can control this helicopter coming behind me. I can't make that happen. I can't will my children to salvation. I can't will that they'll be safe while they're traveling or walking around. I have to trust God for that. Doesn't mean I shouldn't take precautions and do what I can to be helpful. But ultimately, I can take all the precautions in the world. I can't control it. I can't will my children into faith. That's God's business. I can lead a good example, and I can try and be faithful, but ultimately it's up to God. I cannot make tomorrow turn out the way that I want it to, no matter how hard I try. And that's what Jesus is telling us in the Sermon on the Mount. So this night, think about the things where you're feeling anxious and the issues that are there, and we'll talk about things you can't control in the morning. But tonight, those things that you can't control, list the things where your anxiety is coming from, and then come to face with the question, is this something that you can control, or is this something that God says that He controls? And if we try and control, if we try and make happen what our will thinks is best, that will lead us to fear, worry, doubt, and anxiety. I have to leave those things to God and trust Him. Rest in Him. He's the Lord of the wind and the waves. He's the Lord of this world. I can trust him to make things happen with the way he wants them to happen. That's what allows me to have peace. That's why Psalms 3 and 4 bring me comfort. I can sleep knowing God is in control. So that's the thought for this night. First point is anxiety comes from trying to control things we cannot control. In the morning, we're looking to see where anxiety comes from not controlling the things that we can control. So tonight, think about that carefully. Don't try and control what God has reserved for himself. And that's the thought for this night. And it's just like this beautiful, peaceful river behind me. That's exactly what God can do for us. Bring peace to us. And I pray that he will. That you will know his peace this night. The peace that passes, transcends understanding. And thanks so much for being here. Again, turn on post notifications if you haven't done that, and subscribe. Check us out at everydaytalk247.com. If you'd like to support what we do, there's an opportunity to do that on that webpage as well. But it's such a joy to be with you, and good to spend a couple of days here back on the St. John's. All the days won't be as pretty as this one, but I hope you enjoy this beauty that's behind me. Take a quick look at it, and then I'll sign off. And we'll see you tomorrow. There's the river. Take a look at that. It's just gorgeous. You have a great night. Bye-bye.